What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a handful of stocks today. We'll be going over GRNQ for Learn to Swim, Amazon, NVDA, Meta, AMD, and CIEN for Honcho, SMCI for Algrate, and IRBT for Diesel Killer. I made a video that went on about 20 minutes long for this already, and I got caught up ranting about about some stuff that I'll go over later, but I had to restart it, man. I had to. Unfortunately, I had to. I was all the way down to Meta, and I still had to restart it because it became more of a rant instead of TA, and I want to try and keep this relevant as I can. But I will go into what I was ranting about when it's time. Top to bottom here, these fibs really aren't helping. You know, what I was looking at whenever I made this video up before is the fact that you hit this 1272, found resistance at the 886. I would expect you would at least go to 61 cents, potentially all the way down to 33 cents before seeing a significant move up. From here, I wouldn't be surprised if you did move up to like $1.80, maybe up to $2.10, somewhere in there. You take a relative fib here, you know, let's see if I can get there. $1.82 is your 669 area. Your 61869 area is right up there, so you really could go there. Maybe you see your 786 or 886 as well, but if that isn't your high, you might go a little bit higher than that. But I think you are going lower. I think you're getting ready to go down. You couldn't even hit your 618 and hell of a rejection there. So I think you are getting ready to go down. And where are you going to go again? I mean, if we look at this for what it is, this relative high to, or low to high, if that is the high, 58 cents, 45 cents, potentially 36 cents, stuff like that. And 33 cents was the macro low to high here, 618. So lower. I'm not really too impressed by this thing. If you want to go up, you might do it in the more immediate terms. You might. This weekly doesn't look too bad, bouncing off the 50. But if next week closes red, you get below this 50, it's definitely all over. But the crying. The daily RSI doesn't look too friendly, so I don't have any high hopes for this thing, unfortunately. That's GRNQ. Amazon is looking phenomenal. And something that I was talking about on this one, man, is that, yes, I know it sounds insane, but this thing might be on a non-stop train until it sees a $10 trillion market cap. Yes, 10 with a T, trillion dollar market cap. That doesn't mean it's going there overnight. That doesn't mean it's going there over this year. It's probably take multiple years, several years to happen, but it could happen by 2030. You've got your top to bottom here, 2618 there. Your other like only major really significant kind of correction that you've had in this thing's history right here. I mean, these were significant while they lasted. More of consolidation phases though, but you can see where this is significant. This one is the most significant one really since then. I guess this one was pretty significant too, to be completely fair. And there, but just relatively speaking. This one, that one, both these 2618s line up very well with each other, and that price area happens to be right around a $10 trillion market cap valuation. So I know it sounds insane, but looking at how this thing moves, I mean, it is Amazon. It just moves in a straight line year after year after year. Maybe it has its consolidation phases at some points, but if we were to kind of move up in this trajectory, the current trajectory that we have, more or less like that, I even sloped it down a little bit. Hitting that 2618 would be like the middle of 2026. If we were to kind of take this trajectory, like the average kind of run that you had here, right, and project that out from like the current low, I mean, and keep going. Got to keep it going, more or less, something like that. Be like 2031. So maybe it's 2026, 2031, who knows? But within the next like 2 to 10 years, or I guess that'd be 2 to 7 years, something like that, you could see a $10 trillion market cap. I know that's crazy. I feel crazy saying it, but when it's at $10 trillion, just remember this video. The dollar inflates every year, man. It does. And I bet nobody thought Amazon would see $1 trillion, and then it did. Nobody thought it would see $2 trillion. It's probably going to. This looks like it wants to break out to new all-time highs. And on that note of breaking out to new all-time highs, 237, 317 is probably where you're going to go in the more immediate term, like this year. Those other price targets are, man, I don't know what's going on with this right here, but it is just all over the place. Whatever. I'm going to stop caring. those other targets up at like $730, $716. Yes, we're all the way down at 171 now. Those are further out, years, several years, multiple years out, right? But this here to here could happen like this year. It really could. Prices between 237 to 317 could happen this year, if not next year. I think you really are. That's going to be your next like kind of significant high. Is it going to be a straight line there? More or less, kind of, right? This thing looks like it likes to move in straight lines, but you even had like pretty significant dumps, right, on the way up. You went from here, right, top to bottom, you had a 32% drop, but more or less you're moving up in a straight line. So there will be corrections along the way, but I really think that you're on a nonstop track at least to 237 from here. So that's Amazon. Let's talk about NVIDIA, another very bullish looking chart, man. Very, very bullish. You're at all-time highs right now. You're very, very close to your 1618 golden extension. And there's a couple things I want to go over. Yes, I think that you will hit this. I do think that you will hit this. You might, in the more immediate terms, turn around first. Okay, let's look at the weekly. You do have some sort of bearish divergence here, right? And that could kind of force you to pull back, back into that $500 area. On a daily basis, you do have bearish divergence presenting itself, though it's not confirmed bearish divergence. But something else that you have to keep in mind is that you've got this like ascending trend line here. You've got this ascending trend line here. You're kind of in this channel, right? And you just found resistance at the top. You might come back down to find support, something like that. And generally speaking, when you're in these channels in the RSI, they come to an end once you see the overbought zone, because it only goes up to 100. So the odds of you getting, when you come down, going back up here to 95, it's possible. Man, hold on. I don't know what's wrong with my throat. There I am. There we go. It is possible, though it's unlikely. And the fact that you hit the overbought zone here, you hit it for a second time, I would think you're coming to the end of this trend. You probably will break out of it at some point. And generally speaking, I mean, you absolutely could just break out of it like that. That is possible. But sometimes what you do is you bounce, you form some like more bearish divergence, which would imply, if it's bearish divergence, that you would see higher highs and that you're coming to an end very soon. That would line up with this 1618, somewhere around like $711. Now, just because you're at 711 doesn't mean that has to be resistance. You could go up to 725, 750. You don't have to hit this line precisely. If you break above it, that doesn't mean it's going up to the next level all the way up here at, what is that, 900 something dollars. Yeah, almost 1,000. No, that's not what that means. It could, but probably not. Odds are in this area around 711, above 700, but probably below 750, you're going to find resistance. But on the daily effect, again, you do have this bearish divergence presenting itself. It's not confirmed. It'll be confirmed when you have a red day, and specifically confirmed when you have multiple red days. When you have multiple red days, then yes, this would be confirmed. I would think that you would see some kind of relative move back to around like 545. Maybe we can take a more relative fib here. Pretty close. 573, 545, something like that. 522. There's all these numbers above 500, but below probably about 550. You might go down there and then make your way up to that 711 level. By the time you go down there, you'll come down to find support here. You'll come back up and have a lower high in your RSI while having a higher high in your price, and that'll be your more significant correction in NVIDIA. And if that doesn't happen, man, I'll see you at $1,000. But I don't expect that this thing's just going to move in a straight line. So you've been overbought for a second. You're probably going to get a little bit hotter. Looking at the weekly as well, you do have room to go up. A very common area that you like to find resistance is like right here. So you could go up a little bit more. But in the days to come, you might go down. In the weeks to come, you might even go down. But weeks to come, you might go up. Months to come, I think you do have more upside for sure. Because all that, to summarize all that, what I think for NVIDIA is you're probably going to go down in the more immediate terms. I do expect this daily divergence that's presented itself. It hasn't been confirmed. I do expect it to play out probably to the downside. But that doesn't mean it has to. As long as you're making more green days, if this bearish divergence gets taken out, you keep growing, then maybe you will make your way up to that 711, 730, something like that area, and then turn around. Something like that could happen as well. So just be prepared. Keep going. If you keep going, then like really you would just need like one more green day, I would think. Like break like 680, and then 711 or a little bit higher than that is basically in the bag. But that's NVIDIA. I mean, it probably, regardless if it goes up from here or it goes down from here, I think you will see prices below $600 but above $500 again in the near future, relatively near future. So that's just my opinion. But let's move on to Meta. And this is where I got caught up, was talking on Meta, because it went up, and I forget what kind of meeting there was the other day. I know it was all like the social media platforms, the CEO of X, Discord, Meta, TikTok, and Snapchat. All those CEOs, they met up, and essentially, I forget if it was Congress or the Senate or just some people who like to make BS laws. I don't know. I'm going to try to not get caught up in my rant as I did before, but essentially they were talking about how social media companies are exempt from liability. They cannot be sued if there is a malusage of exploitation or something on their websites that causes harm, whether emotionally or physically, to other people, or they cause harm to themselves because of the actions that have taken place on their website. For example, there's a boy who thought he was talking to a girl. He thought he had a girlfriend, but it was really this gang in Nigeria. And one of them was a real girl, but it was really this gang in Nigeria that what they do is they get people to send nude photographs of themselves, and then they exploit them for money. They say, if you don't send me X amount of money, I'm going to send all these pictures to your family. And long story short, I don't know the name of this kid that it happened to, but he killed himself. He sent them money. It wasn't enough money. He didn't have enough money because he's just a kid. And he killed himself. And unfortunately, it's a very tragic thing. It's his story isn't the only story like that out there. And there's a bunch of other people that have been exploited that they haven't committed suicide, but they've still been exploited, and for reasons that just aren't fair and are completely illegal and just immoral beyond all things. But the thing is the people who are trying to change the laws, they're trying to make it to where the parents of that child could sue Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whoever, Snapchat, whatever company that happened on, that they could sue them for that. And my response to that, without getting too much more into it, I've already gone into it more than I care to for this video. It's like, if I were extorted with US dollars, if I had to I got scammed somehow, and I use Visa to pay the scam. I'm like, oh, I think I'm getting a vacation or something, or I think I won a sweepstakes. All I have to do is send them $1,000, and then I get $10,000. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to do that. And then they're like, hey man, we scammed you, we got you. Or probably more likely they just wouldn't respond, they'd cut you off, and you never hear from them again. That'd be like me suing Visa for the mistakes that I made using their platform, right? It's not Visa's fault. It's not the social media platform's fault. It's, unfortunately, it's at the end of the day, it's the low-life pieces of scum's fault who are taking advantage of innocent people. But it's also the kids' fault. It's also the people who are using the platform's fault for not being smarter and not being aware and not using it responsibly. It's also the parents' fault for not having the oversight of their kids and knowing what they're doing on these platforms. And you can't know what your kids are doing all the time. But I've got a daughter myself. She's almost 2. You best believe that whenever she's old enough to have social media, she might send things that I'm not okay with sending, might send things that I am okay with saying, but you best believe I'm going to be policing her social media, right? I don't care if she's in middle school, I don't care if she's a teenager. There will be restrictions, certain restrictions. There won't be restrictions when she's an adult. She can do her own things as an adult. But while I'm the adult and the child is under my care, it falls on me as the caretaker to take responsibility and to take accountability. And I think anybody who's trying to sue the platforms for this, it's I'm not trying to be offensive, but it's kind of pathetic that you're using the tragedies of your child to take as a platform to make you some financial gain, right? Like, that's what it is at the end of the day. And these people who are wanting to change the laws, they don't care about the kids. If they cared about the kids, man, they would go after the low-life pieces of scum wherever they are in the world, taking advantage of these people. They would do something about it. But no, suing the people who are creating the platforms, all that's going to do is mitigate our freedom of speech, our freedom of usage when it comes to social media. It turns it more into an autocracy where they have complete oversight over everything we're doing. They want that, they need that, and they're using this as leverage on it. And Meta, whole reason I got caught up in saying that, Meta said no, we're not. We don't think we should be sued for that. We're not going to agree to these terms that you're trying to get us to agree to. We'd like to work with you on things. We'd like to talk about things, but we don't feel it's our responsibility. We're doing everything we can. These companies are putting money in. They're putting safeguards in. And there are user agreements that everybody signs. It's just at the end of the day, if you put yourself in a bad situation, you don't know what you're using, or you don't know who you're sending things to, you can get taken advantage of. And man, anybody who gets taken advantage of over social media, who gets exploited, you guys, it's terrible. It really is terrible. And it is your fault to some degree, but it's mainly the people, the low-life scamming pieces of what, who have no morals at all, right? And they cause people to literally off themselves. And nobody caused him to off. It was his decision, right? At the end of the day, let's take accountability for our own actions. But you're a kid. You're not in the right mind. If time went on, man, that kid would have probably looked back and laughed, or maybe it was just something that they resent in the past, but they would get over it. And as kids, man, the whole world can feel like the world's crashing around you with stupid stuff like that. Unfortunately, it does. And I'm getting off on a whole topic here, man. This is exactly where I ended the video last time, but it was a way longer rant. All I'm trying to say, guys, is perhaps there was some other news that happened, I don't know, but Meta and the other social media companies not bending the knee to these stupid laws that really, they don't care about the kids, man. These lawmakers don't care about the kids. I believe the parents do, but at the same time, if you're a parent and you lost your kid and all you care about is the money, dude, bro, I have a loss of respect for you, but what's that even matter? Who am I? I know I wouldn't be going after the social media companies. I would be going after the people who are responsible, who are actually responsible. If I get in a car accident in my Honda, do I sue Honda for permitting me to use their vehicle? Right? My Facebook account is my social media vehicle, and if I crash and burn that, that's on me. If I let my 2-year-old daughter drive my Honda Civic and she crashes and burns that, is it on her, or is it my fault as a parent, as a guardian, for not overseeing her better? You gotta take accountability for your shit, man. You really do. I'm gonna end it there. Not the video, just the talk. I got off on a tangent, but that's where I got off last time. So that's Meta. Probably goes up a little bit higher. I don't even know if I actually got into it. Top to bottom, at least 573, potentially all the way up here at $1,000. As crazy as that sounds, man. Meta boasting a market cap of $1.2 trillion. Yeah, with these prices right now, I absolutely believe it could see that before it sees a more significant correction. Absolutely, it could. Absolutely, it could. Let's see. Kind of that trajectory, although it's coming down a little bit. I mean, that would kind of put you right there. Maybe you do find some more significant resistance around that $570 to $600 area. come back down and then continue moving your way up. But I don't think that'll be the end of it. I don't think that's the permanent all-time high, but I would expect you find some turbulence at that 573, about $100 up from here. I very much do think that you want to move higher, right? Here you are, this week just closed, and you broke with this week. This is a breakout, man. This is a undeniable breakout. Look at the bar, look at how it looks, look at the volume. Like, it's undeniable a breakout. It could be a fake out still. There could be room for this thing to turn around and fake out, but I don't think it will, man. I don't think with all the negative media that surrounded it recently, and they still are blowing up like this. I don't think it's gonna. It's the beginning of a month right now. Already that much volume. I think we're about to smash up to that $570 to $600 area. That's meta. And I don't apologize for getting off on a tangent. I know I really talked about it more than I intended to for this video, but I just wanted to say what I had to say, I guess, because like genuinely, and I even got sidetracked because I was trying to be more PC about it. Genuinely, what my thoughts are is that had nothing to do with the kids, man. That is all about impeding our freedoms of usage on social media platforms, on the internet. That's what it is. These lawmakers are taking advantage of they're leveraging a situation where people are being taken advantage of and exploited, and they're using that to bend the public to their will. Those guys are just as low life. They might even be of a lower life, and probably are of a lower life than the people who are actually exploiting these kids. Because they're using their exploitation to their advantage. That's like really, at the end of the day, what I gotta say. If you disagree with that, that's okay. We can disagree. We can still be friends. Maybe you don't want to be my friend. That's okay. But regardless, this is about TA. It's not about really any of that. So I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm really not sorry that I got off on a tangent. I just feel like I said what I had to say. So don't let them take away your freedoms, man. They want to. They really do. There are plenty of them that don't want to. There are plenty of them that do. And the people that were coming after all the social media platforms, why didn't they go after Google? Why didn't they go after Amazon? Or not Amazon, Apple? Why not Netflix? Why not? I don't know, man. Just dumb things, man. 222. 325, AMD, lower highs on the monthly, bearish divergence to some degree, but that can be given back. Man, AMD might be with that kind of bearish divergence, man. I don't know if it is bearish divergence like this was, but I don't know if this is. It kind of looks right in line right here, but I think you just broke out to new all-time highs. You're going to get continuation. 222 to 325, that's probably where you're going. Yeah, look at that. Look at what you did. This week you came all the way back. You actually, last week, even did the same thing. Double tapped your previous all-time high, and now you're looking like you want to go higher, more volume. It's a very bullish candle to end your week. So, and you're very, very hot on the RSI, very strong. You're probably going to see a very nice week next week. If you were to move down from here, I would think that you hold that 145 area, but I don't think you're going to break below these. I think you're going to go higher before you see any kind of pulling back. That's AMD for you, man. Look for 222 to 325. That's my thoughts. CIEN, Sienna Corporation. Monthly looks all right, top to bottom here. You're in an accumulation phase. You're at the top of it right now, so to see it come back or to even just stall at these prices between here and $50, you're at essentially 55 now. That's kind of normal, to be expected almost. Could you continue upwards from here? Absolutely, but don't get too excited just because you had a really good month last month. You could stall out here for a second. You're right there in your overbought zone, kind of have some bearish divergence presenting itself, kind of have a double top presenting itself. If you get continuation, you might break that, but it wouldn't be crazy to just chill for a second, right? Daily has some more pronounced bearish divergence, but it's not printed, it's not official until you get some red days. So I kind of would expect this thing to turn around. I think you're going to bounce between 50 and 55 for a while. If not, if you can break above, really what you need to break above on a weekly basis is $55.62, a whole dollar higher than you are now. If you can close above that on a weekly basis, I'll see you at $60 to $63, somewhere in that range, if not higher probably. And at that point, just for what it is, being in this accumulation range, I would think that you are going to be working your way up $95, $100, $121 over time. Even if you don't break out here, those are your price targets. But I think you might be generally with these accumulation phases. You reject it here, just like pretty immediately. You rejected it here pretty immediately. You probably are going to consolidate now, and that's your sign that you're getting ready to break out. But you just got to this zone, so you're probably going to consolidate for a little bit. That's my genuine opinion with CIN. Moving on from there, SMCI, Super Micro Computer. Top to bottom, 2618 hit. Wow, bro, that's awesome. Yeah, bearish divergence on your monthly is not awesome. You probably pull back. You probably do. Yeah, I think you do. Oh man, maybe go up a little bit higher. Let's see, maybe. This thing is strong, bro. This thing is really strong. The main reason I think that you could go up a little bit higher from top to bottom here is that 2272s right there, but maybe just a little bit higher. Probably form some daily bearish divergence. You're really hot on that daily right now. Right? Put a line right there where you're at now. Barely went above it before. Tipped this exact area before. And those look to be your only 2 times that you've done that. Oh, another time you tipped this exact area. Right? Went a little bit above it here. Yeah. It wouldn't be crazy if you pulled back a little bit from here. Right? And that is that macro 2618 too. So you could pull back to 530, 470, something like that, but do you have to see 630? No. Oh, you're moving up with decreasing volume on the daily. I do. I think you pull back from here. Very impressive move. I'm very impressed, but you probably do pull back from here. And where are you going to go? Let's pull that monthly up again. I don't even feel completely confident taking that low there. This might be better. At least down to 320. Man, that's a big drop. Probably, though, at least down around there, around your monthly high close, like literally right around 330, 350, 320. Yeah, you're going to have a significant drop ahead of you, man. Probably. I think it wants to go down from here. Yeah. Somewhat confident on that. I can be wrong. Been wrong before. At a minimum, if we're trying to be a little bit less extreme, at a minimum, if you can hold support around 420, 410, 370, then you're good. But man, that's a sizable bit lower. Yeah. You got quite the drops ahead of you, man. That's SMCI. I think you're getting ready to turn around right here, in my genuine opinion. IRBT finishing this up for Diesel Killer. 52-week lows, right? That's what you were saying. Hey, look at that. I think, yeah, I was, last time we talked about this, I was calling for this thing to go lower. Yes, you are at 52-week lows. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's time to go up, though, unfortunately. I know a lot of people, they romanticize this idea of buying at 52-week lows. Watch you bounce right here like you did before. Maybe it is a good time to put in call options. Maybe it is. And you move up for like 6 months or so, and then you go lower, right? Maybe. I don't know. I would think that you have lower to go. I feel very confident in saying that you have lower to go. Will it happen immediately? Let's look into that. Weekly RSI looks sad, looks weak. Definitely a bearish looking candle. I'm not a big fan of it. Are you at an area where, based on price action, you could find support? Sure. Yes. Yes, you are. Top to bottom here, right around your 2886 on a somewhat insignificant fib. This might actually be a better one to take here. Bottom to top here. I think you're going lower, man. I think if you're looking for any kind of relative support in the near term, probably around $11, a little bit below $11 at 1081 there. That's my genuine expectation. You just broke through that 1272, man. Back tested it as resistance, came through. You opened up the week below your 1414, back tested that as resistance. I think I will see you at 1081 around there. And then, yes, you probably do get a little bit of relief. Yes, you probably do. You might even go all the way up near $30 again. Is it a good time to put in call options now? Not financial advice, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you have bullish divergence on your daily? Kind of, yeah. You have like this double bottom look even on your daily. Doesn't look too bad. If you're putting call options in, man, make sure those things don't expire for months, like several, like at least half a year, if not longer. But not financial advice. You do what you want. This is nice. This is how you know it's slowing down, right? Volume is decreasing as price is dropping. I do think you're coming to the end of this. I just don't know if it's there yet. And don't be swayed. If next week you move up, you're at 13 now, you move up to 15, and then you continue moving down, right? I think if you're patient, you can catch prices below $11, but that's just my personal opinion. As far as all these go, man, the one that I think looks the best over time is probably Amazon. Surprise, surprise. But, you know, AMD looks pretty good too. NVDA looks pretty good as well, but it's probably going to take a breaky poo pretty soon. But yeah, man, they all look pretty good. Some of them look like they want to go down in the more immediate terms, but iRobot is the only one that I think is I would stay away from it as far as like long-term holdings go, because I think this thing I think it's done. I really do. I think that candle there, that is the death wish right there. It just happened genuinely. You're at least done until until all-time lows, but I bet I wouldn't be surprised if this thing over time saw new all-time lows, but I can be wrong. But that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you liked the rant, hit the like button. If you didn't like the rant, feel free to leave me a comment as to why I'm wrong. I can be wrong, man, or I can be right and you can be wrong, or we can both be right and have different opinions, whatever. You know, maybe we're both wrong, maybe we're all wrong, but yeah, hit that like button, guys. Thank you for coming. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.